I guess we're talking again. What's up, YouTube? After a crazy weekend of attacks and retaliation and missiles and drones flying all over the place, apparently we're talking again. Or are we? But I do want to get this out of the way right at the beginning. I was wrong. The market did not implode last night or today. Everything's up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. As well as what's going on with the talks in the Middle East. And I even have an AI story. And you definitely want to stick around for this because it's not what you're expecting. I can almost guarantee it. Nobody's losing their jobs. As a matter of fact, it may be the opposite, at least for now. But before we get to any of that, let's take care of the housekeeping. We're up to 14 subscribers. Woohoo! We're getting there. But we still need a few more to get to my goal of having 20 subscribers by the 4th of July. And that's where you come in. All I need you to do is hit that subscribe button. And then go ahead and like and share the video. That tells the algorithm that more people need to see it. All right, to the stock market. So as of right now, this afternoon, which is the afternoon of June 29th, market's up. It's been up all day. I have to admit, I'm a little surprised. I guess I was discounting the hopium and not taking into account the fact that it appears that the market doesn't want bad news. Nobody involved in the market wants bad news. They're not looking for it. They don't want to hear it. And so as soon as we stopped firing it at one another and said that the talks were back on, everybody's like, all right, let's just completely forget about the weekend. And that's how it's been. Can't explain it. That's just how it's been this entire time. It's like when President Trump says that there's going to be a deal any day now, and then it falls through, and then the next time that President Trump says there's going to be a deal, everybody's all excited again, and then war's over, everything's going to be great, and so far it hasn't been. But people keep falling for it. Every single time. But not only is the market itself up, but also oil is up as well. Now, granted, it's not like through the roof. The last time I looked, it was only up just a little bit. It was right around $70. But we have to keep in mind that it may not stay that way. There is still risk of supply issues causing a spike again. Supplies are still low, and so that's just how it's going to be for a while. Especially when Iran says, don't touch our mines. The Hormuz letter is reporting today that Iran is saying that mine clearance is strictly carried out by Iran and not any other country. They're specifically talking to France, Oman, and the United States. So Iran is cautioning France against any further provocations because apparently France has offered to help Oman with demining the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran's like, not so fast. Not so fast. That's our leverage. We don't want to lose that. We will decide when and how quickly the demining happens. Just hold on. And they also are saying that if anybody wants to use the Strait of Hormuz, you can only do it with our permission. So Iran is telling everybody, or at least trying to tell everybody, that they are who is going to decide can use the Strait of Hormuz and when and the process and what the fees are going to be, because that's their leverage. So I am curious, when Iran says that they will try to obstruct any vessel that is going to try to use the strait without their permission, how do they mean obstruct? With mines? Or maybe like a couple of days ago with drones? Just curious. But the good news is, just like the Wall Street Journal is reporting, and everybody else, the talks are back on. Both sides have decided to stop shooting at each other and try and talk it out. Or did they? Because that's not necessarily what Iran is saying. So the Hormuz report on X is saying that Ghalibaf, Iran's top negotiator, is saying that Trump's full of it. Iran didn't ask for any talks. That he did, that Trump is the one that is desperate for these talks, and that he has said before that Iran doesn't do well, doesn't take well with threats. Iran doesn't negotiate with words. Iran negotiates with missiles. Yeah, the negotiate at the barrel of a gun tactic sounds really promising. And if that wasn't enough, this report says that Galaboof is also saying that Iran hasn't decided whether or not they're going to send anybody to these talks. So this might be going nowhere fast. That's probably why Al Arabiya is reporting that CENTCOM still has all 50,000 of our troops in the Middle East on high alert, because they probably don't think that this is going very far either. But on the other hand, as somebody that's prior service myself, I can tell you it's always better to keep the troops on alert when you're not sure what's going on. But just to show exactly how much good faith the Iranians have, World News reported this today. Iran hardliner demands dead Ayatollah Ali Khamenei be avenged on American soil. This particular hardliner just happens to be the official mouthpiece at the official state newspaper representing the current Ayatollah. He also said the first step in fulfilling the demands of the leader in these negotiations is to insist on President Trump being turned over to be brought to Tehran to stand trial for, and receive justice. Stranger things have happened, but I just don't see that happening. But I find the first part more interesting. It sounds like the official mouthpiece of the current Grand Poobah of Iran is calling for terrorist attacks in the United States. All while we're supposed to be negotiating peace. This ain't going to work. War's not over. We can't negotiate with these people. All that these supposed negotiations are doing is buying time. I mean, it's pretty clear that the Iranians are trying to buy time, but apparently I could only assume that so is the Trump administration. And Israel knows the war is not over. Open source intel is reporting that Israel is doubling down and saying they're not pulling out of any of their security zones. This says that the Israelis are saying that the war with Iran's not over, and that either A, Trump is going to ditch negotiations, or B, Iran is going to fire on Israel again, and that either one of those is going to be the start of the war once again. And once again, from open source intel, they're reporting that the Israeli defense minister is telling the IDF to gear up because they're getting ready to go at Iran solo. And that's because no matter what the United States or anybody else done, when you take into consideration what we talked about yesterday, where the IRGC is saying that they have no choice but to pursue the nuclear weapon. And that's one thing that Israel cannot allow to happen. And frankly, President Trump says that that's something that he can't allow to happen either. So we're going to see whether or not everybody's serious or this is all just one giant game. So this is the point in the video that I was going to go to the AI story, which I still will, but as I was making this video, I just saw that there has been some kind of attack in Monaco. The Express is reporting Monaco explosion live. Attack rocks holiday hotspot as suspect is on the run. So in this article, they are saying that there's not getting any confirmation that it was an attack, but a reporter on the scene heard an official talking to the police and used the word attack, and apparently over on X, the mayor of Monaco said it was an attack. He said that this attack was a tragedy. And this from the Daily Star, Monaco attack as 3 injured after terrorist attack with individual on the run. So this article says a lot of the same things. I mean, this, like I said, this just is reported as I'm making the video. But this article does give us a little bit more information. Apparently 3 people were injured and there is a suspect that's on the run. And then we have this from the Mirror. 2 Ukrainians critical with men on the run after leaving bag. So this article tells us that the 3 people that were injured are Ukrainian. 2 of them are critical, and they're all believed to be the same family. An older couple in their 50s or 60s, and then a 13-year-old, I believe. Yeah, a 13-year-old boy who's not as badly hurt. So the suspect, whoever did this, allegedly left a bag that apparently exploded. And there are reports that apparently this guy took off towards a town. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. I don't remember, but it's right across the border from France. So it would appear that this guy is hightailing it to France, trying to get over the border. And this just goes to show you how quickly things can change. You know, this morning when I started my day, I was like, what am I gonna make a video about? Let me see what's going on. And there wasn't a whole lot, nothing earth-shattering, nothing pressing. And so you've seen the kind of things that I've been talking about already. They're important, but they're not like, oh my God, we need to talk about this right this second. And this attack in Monaco falls into that latter category. So this last story I have for you today, it's definitely a more upbeat story than what we just talked about. It's from the BBC. Ford rehires human engineers after AI fails to match quality check. So see, not the typical AI story that we expect to hear right about now. A couple of years ago, Ford thought they were going to jump on the AI, let's increase profits bandwagon. And so they installed like 900 some odd cameras with AI, and they're aimed at the assembly line. And so they were going to use the cameras to QC the work and get rid of the people. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out the way that they expected it to. So here more recently, Ford has had to hire back 300 or so of these engineers that they let go. So the VP of Vehicle Hardware Engineering, who, I'm not making this up, his name is Charles Poon. Very unfortunate name. Very unfortunate. He said, artificial intelligence is a fantastic tool, but it's only as good as the information you use to train it. Sorry. He said, and I quote, over prior years, we didn't pay as much attention as we should have to the knowledge of our most knowledgeable engineers. End quote. He said that they had mistakenly thought that they could just take the AI, feed in the design specs, and that would produce good quality assurance. So he said that they realized after the fact, after they pushed these people out the door, that they should have had them train the AI before they got rid of them. I don't know how this guy is a VP of anything if he doesn't know the tried and true model of, hey, we need you to train your replacement before we fire you. He skipped that part apparently, because we've all been there. We've all, at least at one point in our life, have had a supervisor or boss come through and was like, hey, we're hiring this new guy that's going to do the same job. Can you train him? And you know, as those words are coming out of his mouth, that guy's cheaper than me. You want me to train my replacement, and then you're going to fire me. Yeah, no, that's not on the agenda. But apparently this guy didn't know that. So now they've had to rehire all these people back, at least for now. I fully expect that once they have the AI trained up and doing it at least as almost as good a job as the people, then they're gone. So yeah. It was a great story to begin with, but I just don't see it have a happy ending in the long run. So that's all I got for today. If I see anything more about Monaco, I'll cover it in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.